Well, this is the new Honda Amaze, and at a time when everyone seems to be buying SUVs, Honda is trying to push a sedan. Now, the Amaze has been around for a long time in the Indian market, and this is the third gen model, and now it has got a host of updates both on the design front, in the cabin, in terms of tech and features. And here we are in Goa reviewing it, and over the next few minutes I'm going to tell you what's good in this new Amaze and what could have been better. Now, when it comes to the design, the new Amaze, as you can see, is significantly different from its predecessor. It's got a different design language, and well, you can see it. There is a lot of elevate up front, and once you go back, you'll find some bit of city. But overall, I think the Amaze has matured in terms of design. It looks a lot more classier, a lot more premium. Also, if you look at this, the entire front face, the chrome panel that runs from one end to the other, it just kind of accentuates the width of the car. The sleek headlamps with these new DRL units, again, these give the front a very sharp look, and then this huge grille up front, it just adds to the overall muscular design. Once you go towards the side, well, this is the top grade, so it also depends on what variant you're going in for. If you're going in for the top variant, you'll get these machine cut alloy wheels, 15-inch. If you're going in for the lower variant, it's a different design, and if you're going in for the base variant, it's a 14-inch wheel size that you'll get. But again, over the side, you'll see not a very big change. It's not as if the radical change has been given to the overall silhouette of the car, but yes, there's still a strong shoulder line, and once you get to the rear, you'll see a bit of a sporty profile on the boot, where you get a bit of a bump in terms of sort of a spoiler design. The tail lamps, like I said earlier, give a hint of the city design, and overall, when you add all of this, what you get is a car that looks a lot more mature and a lot more sophisticated than its predecessor. Once you get inside the cabin of the new Amaze, well, I think you will be quite amazed at the way the cabin has been transformed. So a lot of new elements have come inside the cabin. Starting off with the dashboard, you'll see this pattern here on the dashboard is new. It looks quite nice. The 8-inch touchscreen, it's a floating touchscreen. Again, this is completely new, and the best part about this is that it works really well. It's got a very fluid touch response, so it's really easy to use, and in terms of connectivity, it gives you Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, both wired and wireless. The 7-inch TFT instrument cluster, again, it's a fully digital unit. It's customizable, gives you loads of information, and it's got great readouts. Also, the steering wheel, again, you've got all the controls, all the telephone controls, the media controls, and then you also have the cruise control and the ADAS controls here on the steering. We'll come to the point of ADAS in a bit, but beyond that, if I look at the overall design of the dashboard, I think it looks quite nice. It's a nice, clean design. It's exactly what you expect from Honda. You've got a wireless charger here. They've got a 12-volt power outlet here. They've got two USB outlets here, and then in terms of practicality, again, a lot of storage options, the door pockets, the cubby holes here, even here between the seats. And overall, if I look at the headroom for the driver, the seat comfort, the kind of side support you have in these seats, it is an interior that one can be comfortable in for a long time, and that's exactly what you want from a sedan. Now, once you get inside the rear seat of the new Amaze, well, again, a lot of changes have been made. First of all, for the first time, you get rear AC vents in the Amaze, and keep in mind, Honda claims that the air conditioning efficiency has been increased significantly. Also, you now get rear AC vents, and as a result of that, the cabin cooling speed has improved drastically. How does it perform? Well, I think it cools really well. We are in Goa right now, it's early morning, So not much of a load for the air conditioning unit, but yes, it was instantaneous in terms of cooling. So yes, it does work really well. Now, this car will be compared to the Dzire. It's a direct rival, and keep in mind that there's no sunroof here, and the Dzire has an electrically sliding sunroof. Now, Honda officials say the reason why they have not given a sunroof is simply in interest of space, because the moment you add a sunroof, your headroom clearance will reduce because you're adding something. So your headroom clearance will reduce because you will have more space here, and they wanted to give more headroom, more open, spacious, airy cabin to the occupants, and that's exactly what they've done. I think in terms of space, the Amaze scores really well. In terms of driving posture, if I look at the seat, well, this is adjusted to my driving preference, and I've got a lot of knee room to spare. I can easily slide my legs. I've got a good amount of headroom. So even if you're someone who's significantly taller than me, I'm 5 feet 8 inches for reference, you'll still not have a problem. The seat itself is quite nice. It's a flat seat, and the floor is also sort of flat. There's just a minor hump in between, so you can have 3 people sitting abreast. But the seat in terms of cushioning is nice. The under thigh support is good. The cushion armrest is really nice. The headrest support you get here and the backrest angle is also designed very well. And as a result of all of these things, what you get is a cabin that is very comfortable, spacious, airy, and feels a lot more premium than the outgoing Amaze. And when you add all of it, I think the new Amaze just scores really high and ticks all the right boxes when you are looking at a sedan from a comfort and a premium experience perspective. And now on to the driving aspect of the new Amaze. The hardware remains the same. The engine is the same as was in the earlier model, but it has got some revisions, of course. And beyond that, the bigger changes in terms of the gearbox. You can now choose between a CVT and a 5-speed manual, same as earlier, but the gearboxes have been reworked to make the performance better, especially the manual. The first and the second gear ratios have been tuned in a way to improve acceleration, which is something that a lot of Amaze customers and buyers wanted earlier, to have a bit more zippiness. And does that work? It does. So in the first 2 gears, when you're driving the manual, it does feel a bit more zippier than the older model, and that just improves the overall driving experience of the car. It's quicker, it just feels a bit more confident now, and as a result of that, also the city drivability has improved. If you're going in for the automatic, the one that I'm driving right now, well, this is a CVT, and well, you guys are pretty aware of the CVTs that come from the Honda stable, and this is no different. So, well, it is one of the nicer CVTs in the market, and it does mask that rubber band effect to a great extent, but as long as you're driving it as a city car. The moment you try and push the Amaze CVT to its limit, when you're trying to go really fast, well, then that rubber band effect of the Amaze does show up, and yeah, I mean, that's what happens. You stomp on the throttle, it makes a lot of sound, and it just feels the car isn't going anywhere, and then slowly the acceleration follows. But overall, I mean, if you're in driving in daily purpose in the city, occasionally on the highway, I think the CVT does a great job, and it's very convenient to use. Also, it aids fuel efficiency, so that is again something that's pretty important for buyers in this segment. So it gives a nice balance between performance and efficiency, and if you want a bit more performance, of course you can go in for the manual version. The engine itself is quite refined. It's a Honda engine, and it's a 1.2 liter engine. It produces about 89 horsepower, 110 Newton meters of torque. Adequate power, not a car that you would buy because you love driving cars. It's not an enthusiast's car. It's a car you will buy because you want it for a family purpose. You want your family members, your friends, occupants to be safe, comfortable, and enjoy the new features, that is why you will buy the Amaze. And I mean, beyond that, ride and handling, well, it's a Honda, so you expect it to be stable, and it is. It is a very neutral handling vehicle, so at triple digit speeds, no problem at all. Ride quality is very sorted, and the stability is also very confident. The brakes do a good job of bringing the vehicle to a quick and reassuring stop. Beyond that, the steering, it feels, I would say, adequately light. It's not too heavy, not too light, and also gives you a bit of feedback about what's happening with the tires at the front. So yeah, I mean, in that respect, it is a good car to drive, and you will tend to become more confident with it as you drive it more and more. And beyond that, one other big change is the NVH levels, noise, vibration, and harshness. NVH levels have been reduced further from the Amaze, and it shows the moment you step inside the cabin. It's a far more quieter and soothing place than the earlier Amaze. And it's just because a lot of NVH insulation has been done all throughout the body, and that results in a lot of outside sound not filtering inside the cabin. And when you add all of these things, what you get is a car that continues to be very practical, very easy to drive. At the same time, if you talk about one of the most important parts, which is safety, well, Honda has already crash tested this car in their own facility. It's not gone in for a Bharat NCAP or a global NCAP yet, but they say that it passes with flying colors and is a safe car. And Honda has traditionally had a good track record in terms of safety. Also, the big change in this car and the USP for this, I mean, I know a lot of people will compare it to the Dzire and say that Dzire comes with a sunroof. Yes, that is the Dzire's USP. The USP for this car is ADAS. The new Amaze is the most affordable car in India with level 2 ADAS. And for anyone who's looking for that extra net of active safety features, Amaze is a great car in that respect. And I mean, it's just a car that is democratizing a technology that just about 7-8 years back used to be on high-end Volvos and the top class Mercedes. Only on that, just 7-8 years back. And today, here you are in a car that's costing about 10 lakh rupees, and you have it. And that is what I like about the Amaze, and that's what its USP is. And if that's what you're looking for, a car that is practical, safe, and at the same time very comfortable and loaded with new features at the prices that you see on the screen right now, I think the Amaze makes a great case for itself. And what makes me really happy is the fact that some brands continue to be invested in sedans. There's hope. Now, among things that could be better on the new Amaze, well, I think it could definitely do with some more power. A bit more power, a bit more oomph would make the Amaze much more fun to drive. It's got a brilliant chassis and a great suspension setup, so it can definitely handle more power. The other thing that can be improved on this car is the brightness of the two screens, the infotainment screen and the instrument cluster. Both of them, again, are great in terms of information display, but they lack brightness. So under direct sunlight, at times there could be an issue deciphering information. And once they get brighter, they'll also add to the premium quotient of the cabin.